Ladies and gentlemen, absolute cinema. The Serie A this year will be insane, and the scudetto race will be the closest race, in my opinion, for any league title in the big five leagues. The Serie A never fails to disappoint. AC Milan 2, Napoli 1. What a game. What a tactical game. What an interesting game to watch. Now, AC Milan actually did us a favour. They did Juventus a favour. It annoys me that we dropped points yesterday now. It really angers me because if we had won, we would be first. But AC Milan played a great game. And I'm a little bit scared because our next Serie A game is against who? Milan. At home, granted, but still. This Milan team with Allegri, for me, are going to be fighting for the league title. For me, they're going to be a team that will battle for the scudetto. And on paper, their team isn't as strong as a Napoli, an Inter, a Juventus. But they have a great structure. They have a manager that knows how to get over the line when it matters. Allegri is one of the best league managers in Serie A history. Statistically, he's one of the very best. And today, it proved it. And he played a game of two halves, really. In the first half, AC Milan were playing beautiful football, champagne football. It was like I was watching a Pep Guardiola game almost. What Allegri was doing was, it was fascinating. It was honestly beautiful to watch. It was a spectacle for, I'm not neutral, but let's just say a neutral in this case. But the second half, after the red card, obviously AC Milan had to go all out defence. And they were playing a good like half an hour, 25 minutes with 10 men. And that there was Allegri football. That there was shutting the gates, closing the floodgates, just blockade, parking the plane, as Jose Mourinho once called it in that famous, infamous win at the Camp Nou. Well, loss at the Camp Nou, but victory in the tie against Barcelona. They parked the plane, but they were great defensively. Maignan was incredible. The whole team put in a shift today. We're going to analyse all the players. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty stuff. But honestly, super impressed with AC Milan today. As we can see on this graph here, they had momentum for the first 10 minutes. AC Milan were on top. They started really, really strong. They scored within 2 minutes. We'll talk about who created that chance later. Napoli sort of bounced back in it, but in the first half, I would say AC Milan were the better team. We can see the momentum looks quite even, but first half, for sure, Milan. Then the red card came in the 57th minute. As I said, they were playing a good 30 minutes. In reality, they were playing 40 minutes. No, chat. This is 40 minutes playing in 10. 4-0. Because there was 7 minutes added time. 40 minutes Milan played in 10. They obviously scored the penalty, but other than that, great defensive play. Let's have a look at the lineup. Let's go through all these players. Mike Maignan, man of the match, 9.1. Incredible. He made so many great saves. He was back to the old Maignan. Maignan, when he's on form, when he's fit and healthy, is one of the best keepers in the world. Top 5 for sure. Like the best in the league when he's healthy. But that is the biggest issue. When he's healthy, Maignan is never healthy. He always has injury problems. But today he returned to the lineup as the captain. He put on his Instagram story a few days ago, he missed the crowd, missed the ultras, missed the atmosphere. Obviously the ultras are banned at AC Milan. We all know why. But today the atmosphere seemed electric on TV. It seemed great. The fans were up for it and they were incredible. The back three. Bro, the back three were top. The back three were top. I look at Tomori and I think, I can't really rely on Tomori anymore. I think he has too many bozo moments in him. Pavlovic looked like a prime Nesta today. He looked absolutely excellent. Didn't put a foot wrong. Gabbia looked so solid. The midfield today. I'm not the biggest fan of Fofana. Got an assist. Looked great. His work rate was there. He did miss a pretty good chance in the first half that he probably should have buried. But it was a much better performance from Fofana today. Luka Modric. There's not many adjectives in the dictionary I can really use to describe this guy. He is phenomenal. He's one of the best footballers of all time, full stop. I had the privilege of watching him live in the stadium, Milan-Bologna, a few weeks ago. And he walks into the best 11 I've seen live in the flesh at 40 years old. I have to be honest today, he taught De Bruyne a footballing lesson. De Bruyne here has a 7.9 only because of the goal. He scored a penalty. Other than that, De Bruyne wasn't really in the game. Modric is still ridiculously sharp for a 40-year-old. Modric's fitness is at an insane level for a 40-year-old. The amount of ground Luka Modric covers it's insane. He was incredible today. He was everywhere. He was absolutely everywhere. 91% pass accuracy today. One big chance created. 8 defensive contributions. As I said, offensively, defensively, he didn't put a foot wrong. He was excellent. It was as if he was 29, 30. Luka Modric is still probably the best midfielder in the league. And I don't think there's really a close second. And he's 40. And he didn't play a ridiculous amount of games for Madrid last season. And he's still putting up these performances. It's insane. Another player I want to big up is Rabiot. Of course, we all know him well, us Juventus fans, 30 years of age, still putting in a shift. He's the perfect Allegri player. Rabiot is the legs in that team. He complements Luca so well because as much as Luca covers a lot of ground for his age and things, and his work rate's still second to none, you can't fault it. Rabiot is the heartbeat. Rabiot is the engine. Rabiot is the box-to-box man in the Allegri system. And Rabiot has improved so much as a footballer over the last 4 years. Even at the end of his time at Juventus, he was at one point the best midfielder in the Serie A. And a lot of Juventus fans wanted him to stay. Of course, he went to Marseille. He did good in his first year there. Now he's back at this Milan team. And I was thinking, wow, what a signing. He's the perfect Allegri man. And we're seeing why. Excellent again today. Estupiñán, brain dead tackle. I think it was a correct decision from the ref. Definitely a penalty. Clear goal scoring opportunity, infringement. Red card was the correct decision. And he's going to be missing the game against us. So that's a benefit. One starter out. Salamakers took his goal really well. I think Salamakers in this right wing-back system is reborn. Allegri loves rebirthing these footballers, these traditional wingers into full-backs, wing-backs, whatever you want to call it. We saw that with Cuadrado at Juventus, and he modified his game to ridiculous heights. We saw the best of Cuadrado, in my opinion, as a full-back compared to when he was a winger. And Salamakers today, proving why he's one of AC Milan's best players. Over the last few weeks, you can't really fault Salamakers' work rate, his creativity, his end product. He's been excellent so far this season, and he developed a lot on loan at Bologna, in my opinion. And now he's a refurbished footballer. He's so refined, and he was good. Jimenez today, I mean, with Jimenez, he's okay. He was diving all over the shop today. It was quite embarrassing. But one player I want to address is this man here, Christian Pulisic. 60 minutes, 1 goal, 1 assist. Only got subbed because of the red card. Absolutely excellent. 4 goals, 2 assists already in the Serie A, and he's proven why he's one of the most underrated wingers in world football. His consistency, when playing, when fit and healthy, is ridiculous. And as a striker today in a 3-5-2, doing what Chiesa, in my opinion, should have done with Juventus. I look at Chiesa under Allegri, and he was almost annoyed, angry that he was playing as a striker in a 3-5-2. And we were saying, he's not a natural striker, he's a winger. Pulisic, on the other hand, just like Chiesa, is a winger, but is fitting in like a glove in Allegri's system. The goal today, that was beautiful football, as I said, Arsene Wenger-esque, Pep Guardiola-esque. But I want to talk about the assist, because the assist is, for me, elite level. It raises a level. It's different. Not many players in world football can take a first touch that big, but angle it so perfectly. You have a clear run-in into the box. That first touch there was beautiful. So intelligent. His positional awareness there. His burst of acceleration. His knowing that Salamakers, again, as I said, Salamakers covering that flank up and down like a freight train. Like Maicon almost at Inter. Knowing where he is, he puts a beautiful cross in and it's a tap-in. He created that first goal. That was all Pulisic. And if he had played the whole game, could argue man of the match. I look at Maignan and the saves he made. It's between them two, let's be honest. But Pulisic this season has been excellent. One of the best players in the Serie A. And if we were to do a team of the season after 4 or 5 games, whatever it's been, I mean, kind of ridiculous to do so, he'd be one of the first names on the team sheet. And as a Juventus fan going up against him next week, we're going to have to find a way to put Pulisic in a gabbia. You understand that reference? You get it? Like a little jail, a gabbia. Okay, I thought that was funny. I don't know. Maybe you guys don't find that funny. But Milan today were excellent. They didn't put a foot wrong. Proper Allegri end to the game. As I said at the start, they didn't look like an Allegri team. They were playing beautiful football, champagne football. But when they went down to 10 men, that reminded me of the old Allegri that I saw so often at Juventus that we all loved. Grinding out the result, getting the 3 points. And it's a massive win for Napoli. There's no denying it. On the other hand, you look at Milan, a massive win for Milan. On the other hand, you look at Napoli and you think, not a great performance. However, they missed a lot of players due to injury. Buongiorno, Lukaku, of course, but also Spinazzola. I think Belkema was hurt, or he didn't start. They missed, I think, 5 starters. I don't know the exact ones, but they missed 5 starters. Another centre-back, Rahmani, was missing as well today. They're missing a lot of players. So if you had those players Would it have been different? If buts and maybes, we don't know. These are all hypotheticals. But obviously, Napoli would have had a better chance to win the game had they had all their starters. Regardless, though, very toothless performance by Napoli. I'm not liking McTominay on the left. I have to be honest. I'm not liking this left midfield position for McTominay. I think he's a box-to-box, man. He has to be in the box-to-box. And you look at Kevin De Bruyne, and yes, Kevin De Bruyne has the technical quality. He's that world-class, technically gifted midfielder that maybe Napoli were lacking last season. But this doesn't make sense. These four here, I mean, you have an engine like Anguissa, box-to-box physical man. Lobotka at the base, I like. De Bruyne technical. But McTominay on the flank. McTominay offers what Anguissa offers, plus more technical ability and goal-scoring ability. I just think he's wasted here. And we saw him in this... Wait, hold on. We saw him in this position last season. This one here. Now, I understand you're occupying for De Bruyne. But I don't think De Bruyne so far this season has been something to rave about too much. But nor has McTominay. This Napoli team hasn't clicked yet. It hasn't clicked. I think they've added so much. Their squad depth is incredible, and they're still on paper the favourite to retain the scudetto. But I just think there's something missing in this Napoli team. Højlund today was horrible. Didn't touch a single football. Lorenzo Luca came on. I mean, he came on at the end. It didn't make much difference. But they're missing Lukaku big time. The guy that got double-double last season. They're missing Buongiorno. Obviously, they're missing a lot of big players. But for me, this Napoli team, I didn't expect them to win going to San Siro. I mean, they have a good record there in recent years, but we were saying in the culture show, I said that the best result Napoli could possibly get is a draw. And when I saw 5 injuries, I was like, no, Milan are winning this. And Milan were the better team. They definitely deserved the 3 points. And this was a professional result. I think this is like Arsenal at Newcastle today in the Premier League. This is probably top 2 wins of the season so far alongside Juventus against Inter. Like, this is a massive statement. And now we look at the table. It is all to play for, boys. Of course, Milan lost their first game against Cremonese, which is quite... I don't really want to put stars in the sky almost, but we need to remember Napoli lost their first game at Verona last year and won the league. So, first game doesn't really matter. But they've won 4 in a bounce. 4 in a bounce is a big turnaround. You look at Napoli, 4 wins from the first 4, loss in the last. Look at Roma, 12 points as well. 1 loss, 4 wins. Juventus, the only team unbeaten in the top 4. However, 2 draws. It's better to lose 1, win 1, than draw 2. Of course, that's the problem with Juventus. We need to take more risks. Take more risks. You can get relegated being unbeaten. We saw this with Motta last season. Unbeaten is a BS. It's a myth. It's a myth. But however, AC Milan did us a favour. Because if Napoli had won today, they would have gone to 15. And it would have been already a massive mountain to climb in September. So Milan did us a massive solid. We're only 1 point behind the top 3. However, the next game is against Milan. But at the same time, that is a blessing for us. Because if we win that head-to-head, big statement. And then we go top, big gap between us and Milan. And the scudetto, we're in a much better chance, let's say, to win the scudetto. However, that's a big if we beat Milan. Because watching Milan today and watching us in the last few games, I do think they've been better than us. I think they've been better than us. However, I do still believe we have the technical quality to win games. It's just defensively, we're all over the shop. Milan last season were horrible defensively. Absolutely horrible. But what does Allegri do? He improves it. Naturally, the defense is going to be a lot stronger than with Allegri as a coach. And these names are horrible in the defense. I mean, Tomori's not been good since the title win. Gabbia is a decent player, nothing special. Pavlovic was quite poor last season. De Winter's young, of course. Allegri coached him at Juventus. They don't have massive names at the back. And their squad depth is really poor. But they're solid. Us, we have better names defensively, but we're not solid at the minute. So I'm very worried going into the game next week. However, at the same time, I'm looking at the situation. I'm thinking it's all to play for in the Serie A. It's super entertaining, the league so far. And that's a massive win, a massive statement for Allegri and Milan. And I enjoyed that game. I did enjoy that game. Make sure you let me know in the comment section, boys. What did you think of the game? Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel. We're close to 10k. That's the goal. I want to hit that really soon. And share it to some friends. Share it around. Let me know in the comments what you think, boys. And I'll see you in the next video.